Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video. All right, I got a cruise news story for you today. Another step forward in what could be possible protocol changes depending on how it goes. So we're going to jump across the pond over here to Europe, where P&O is doing a test, a no pre-cruise test. That's a bit of a mouthful there, I know. But essentially what they're going to do is they're going to take one cruise ship for 5 sailings and not require a pre-cruise test for fully vaccinated passengers. So on P&O Cruise Line's Iona, on sailings from the 25th of June to the 23rd of July, and that's going to be 5 sailings, they are not going to require pre-cruise testing for fully vaccinated passengers. Now keep in mind, if you are unvaccinated, you will still have to go with the pre-cruise testing requirements. This is only going to affect vaccinated passengers. And like I said, and this is a test. And this is purely to gather some data. This is to determine, hey, what's going to happen if we don't require a test prior to cruising? Are there going to be any changes? Are we going to see an increase in cases? Are we going to see a decrease in cases? Are we going to see everything just stay the same? You know, that is the whole purpose of doing this. It's just another little step forward to gather some current hard data that they can show and say, hey, look, here's what happens. Now, P&O Cruises, they are owned by the Carnival Corporation. They're Carnival's largest group over there in the UK, and doing this test in the UK makes sense. It's where they can do it. Can't do that test here in the United States right now. The CDC doesn't allow it. Okay? But you can do this kind of testing over in Europe, and we've seen it. Viking has done away with the pre-cruise testing. We've seen Celebrity Cruise Lines do away with vaccination requirements for 17 and younger all over in Europe, because right now that's simply where the cruise lines are able to do these tests. But even though this is going on in Europe, keep in mind this is still important here for the United States, because I guarantee you the CDC is watching. They're looking at what's going on with these cruise lines. They're going to be watching this test that P&O does to see what the results are going to be. You know, the CDC just put out, we just did a video on it, that they are evaluating the pre-cruise testing requirement here in the US for cruise lines. Well, I guarantee you, part of their re-evaluation is going to be watching what happens on these cruise ships that are not going to require this test. Okay? Now, for the Iona, this is going to be like a really good opportunity. So for 5 sailings, all 5 of those sailings are going to be the exact same itinerary. You know, so there won't be a whole lot of change between cruises, of course, other than the passengers that are coming on board and disembarking. The cruise ship itself is going to travel to the same ports, same number of days, same everything for all 5 sailings. So this will give them a good base of data to look at, and a good base of data that Carnival that Carnival Corporation can then come back and show to the CDC and say, look, if we are asking for no pre-cruise testing at whatever level, vaccinated only, fully vaccinated only, you know, if they're going to count the booster shot, or everybody, whatever the case may be, they're going to have some data to show and say, look, here is some current factual data about cruising to help you with your decision. Now, one thing to keep in mind about all this, though, is this could be, potentially, be a double-edged sword. Because while, yep, we're going to say, look at this great data we have to show you that pre-cruise testing does not affect COVID cases on board the cruise ship. It's not changing anything. We didn't have any outbreaks. We didn't have any issues. We didn't have any problems. We should consider making this change. Then there's the other side. There is the potential that something could go drastically wrong, and you could see a spike in cases that's abnormal, even with the current level of cases on board cruise ships. And just keep in mind, if that's what the CDC sees, that can definitely slow down and derail the changes that people are asking for here in the United States. Now, I'm not predicting that's going to be the outcome. I predict it's probably going to be business as usual. They're going to have some folks that don't pre-cruise test. They're going to board the ship, and you're not going to see anything other than what you normally see. Because even here in the United States, we have pre-cruise testing. But we still have folks coming back from Alaska right now that are getting home and testing positive for COVID. I happen to know some personally who just came back from Alaska here last week, fully vaccinated. They pre-cruise tested like they were supposed to, tested negative, went on the cruise, got back, started feeling a little off, took the COVID test, tested positive. So no matter what protocols are in place, it's still happening. It's still going to happen, and you can still catch COVID. The difference today, of course, being that majority of people do not have severe symptoms. It's more cold-like and flu-like for the majority of people now than it was months and months ago when the hospitals were just full of people that COVID was having a very bad effect on. So starting this Saturday, we're going to keep an eye on the Iona. We're going to keep an eye on her next 5 cruises. We're going to kind of see what data comes out of this, what the cruise lines are going to present then to the CDC and be able to say, look, here is our evidence of what happens if we stop doing pre-cruise testing for at least the fully vaccinated, because like I predicted, I think that's how it's going to start here in the United States. I think that's the level that they're going to probably look at first. You know, the group that they're going to say, all right, we'll start here and they don't have to pre-cruise test when it does come here to the U.S. That's where I think it's going to be, which is why I think the cruise line is probably testing it in this specific way, in a place that they can test it. I think this is Carnival Corporation's way of, like I said, getting the kind of data that they need to be able to have in order to present to say, hey, look, this is why we can stop doing this. But you guys let me know what you think. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this test will work? Do you think this is the kind of information and the kind of data that will help sway the CDC to possibly begin pulling back on the health and safety protocols here in the United States? Or do you think it's a bad idea? Because I know I've seen the comments. Not everybody out there wants to see the protocols start to come down. Some folks out there are happy that the protocols are there. They want the pre-cruise testing. They want everybody fully vaccinated. And look, I get it. There are two sides to everything in this world these days. Okay, there's those that like it. There's those that don't. There's those that agree with it. There's those that don't. We know that. Whatever side you go on, this at least right now is the predicted current path that the cruise lines are going to go down. They're going to slowly start to reduce those protocols over time. Not immediate. I highly, highly doubt we were going to wake up anytime soon and they're going to go, hey, we have no protocols whatsoever. It's a free-for-all. Not going to happen. It's going to be a slow reduction. At least, in my opinion, and I could be utterly wrong. All right, and that's going to be your cruise news video for today. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so, do me a favor and please hit that subscribe button. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow, and of course, lets you know anytime we put out a new video. We have this goal. We are trying to reach 10,000 new subscribers, or total subscribers, by the end of November this year. That is our 2-year channel goal, is 10,000 subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button and help us reach that goal. Hope everyone out there has a really great day, and like always, we will see you out on the high seas.